Welcome to my channel. I am starting by the grace of my creator. How are you all? Rectangle command. Use the rectangle command to create rectangular objects. A single polyline object is created with this command. The simplest method for creating a rectangle is to specify the first corner, then the opposite corner. Other options for creating the rectangle include the area, dimension, and rotation options. This illustration shows a rectangle with the point used to create it specified. Command access rectangle command line, rectangle, rec menu bar, draw rectangle ribbon, home tab draw panel rectangle. Command options. These rectangle options are available after you have selected the first point for the rectangle. Right-click to select from the shortcut menu or type the capitalized letter at the command line. Option description area. Use this option to create a rectangle based on its area and the distance of one side, whether length or width. Dimensions. Use this option to manually enter the length and width of the rectangle. Rotation. Use this option to specify a rotation angle for the rectangle. When you use the distance or area options to specify the rectangle size, the length prompt refers to the horizontal distance, while the width prompt refers to the vertical distance. If the rectangle is being rotated, length refers to the distance along the rotation angle, while width refers to the distance perpendicular to the rotation angle. Rectangle command guidelines. The rectangle command generates polyline objects. Because rectangles are polylines, selecting any segment selects the entire rectangle. The simplest method for drawing a rectangle is to specify the first corner, then the opposite corner using relative xy coordinates. Example, after selecting the first point, type at 4,5 to make a rectangle that is 4x5. Rectangles can be initiated from any corner. After selecting the first point, if you type at -4-5 you will make a rectangle that is located below and to the left of the first point selected. When using the dimension input option, you need to click to select an orientation. After you enter the length and width values, move your cursor up and down or left and right to view the available orientations. When the orientation you want is displayed, click to create the rectangle. Practice exercise, rectangle command. Practice drawing rectangles using coordinate dimensions. Practice other rectangle options. Adjust your display as you work using the zoom and pan real-time commands. 1. Open a new drawing. 2. Check that the dynamic input option on the status bar is not selected. 3. To draw rectangles using relative coordinates at XY, on the ribbon, click Home tab Draw Panel Rectangle. To specify the first corner, click anywhere in the drawing window. At Specify First Corner Point prompt, enter at 4,5 and press Enter. Notice that a rectangle was drawn up and to the right of the first point selected. If this did not happen, then you forgot to enter at before the XY coordinates. Try again. 4. Continue to draw rectangles using relative coordinates at XY, on the Home tab, click Draw Panel Rectangle. Click the first corner anywhere in the drawing window. Enter the relative coordinates at XY and press Enter to make rectangles with the following dimensions: 6x7, enter at 6,7, 7x6, enter at 7,6, 9x9, enter at 9,9, 5. Turn on the dynamic input option on the status bar. 6. To draw a rectangle 7x10, on the Home tab, click Draw Panel Rectangle. Click the first corner anywhere in the drawing window. Enter 7,10, do not enter the at symbol, and press Enter. A rectangle should have been made up and to the right of the start point. If not, check to be sure that dynamic input is on in the status bar and try again. Press F2, observe that at symbol was automatically added to the coordinate, making it relative to the last point you selected. Practice making the following rectangles: 2x2, enter 2,2, 4x6, enter 4,6, 7. To use the rectangle area option, on the Home tab, click Draw Panel Rectangle. Click a point anywhere in the drawing window for the first corner. Enter A, for area, and press Enter. Enter 35 for the area and press Enter. To specify the length, press Enter to accept the default if length is already in brackets. Otherwise, enter L and press Enter. Enter 7 for the rectangle length and press enter. Polygon Command. Use the Polygon Command to create regular polygon geometry by specifying the center point and radius of an imaginary circle, or the start point and end point of one of the polygon edges. Regardless of the method you choose to define the polygon, all of its sides are equal in length. The default method for creating polygons is to specify a center point and radius. When you choose this method, you must choose either the inscribed or circumscribed option. Depending on the option you choose, the size of the polygon is calculated as shown in the following image. Command access polygon command line, polygon, pole menu bar, draw polygon ribbon, home tab extended draw panel polygon. Command options. The following polygon command options are available from the shortcut menu, right click, or the command line. Type the capitalized letter, S, of the option. Option description. Enter number of sides. Polygons can have between 3 and 1024 sides. Specify center of polygon, default. Note that while you may pick any point for the center of a polygon, once it is made you will not be able to simply snap to its center. Inscribed in circle draws a polygon within a designated radius. Circumscribed about circle draws a polygon outside of a designated radius. Edge draws a polygon based on the number of sides and the length of a specified edge. Polygon Command guidelines. Polygons can have between 3 and 1024 sides. Regardless of the number of sides you choose, all sides are equal in length. The Polygon Command creates polyline objects. Polygon is a good tool for creating balloons and other types of annotation symbols. Practice exercise. Polygon Command. Use the Polygon Command to draw a 6-sided polygon that is inscribed about a circle, one that is circumscribed about a circle, and one that has an edge length of 1. First, draw 2 circles with a radius of 1.5, then draw the polygons. Note, although you will draw the inscribed and circumscribed polygons inside a circle, it is only to compare the two options. It is not necessary to draw a circle first to make a polygon. 1. Open a new drawing using the Academy DWT template. 2. Click the following status bar options so that they are on: polar tracking, object snap tracking on the status bar. Right-click object snap and click the center snap mode so that it is also on. 3. To draw a polygon that is inscribed in a circle, as shown in example 1, on the ribbon, click Home tab Draw Panel Polygon. Enter 6 for the number of polygon sides. Click the center of the circle for the center of the polygon. If object snap is on and center mode is selected, you will see the center snap indicator, as shown below. Enter I, for inscribed. Press enter. To specify the radius of the polygon circle, enter 1.5. Press enter. To draw a polygon that is circumscribed about a circle, as shown in example 2, on the Home tab, click Draw Panel Polygon. Enter 6 for the number of polygon sides. Click the center of the circle for the center of the polygon. Click when you see the circle's center object snap. Enter C, for circumscribed. Press enter. To specify the radius of the circle, enter 1.5. Press enter. 5. To draw a polygon using the edge option, as shown in example 3, on the Home tab, click Draw Panel Polygon. Enter 6 for the number of polygon sides. Enter E, for edge. Press enter. Click anywhere in the drawing window to specify the first endpoint of the edge. Drag the cursor and notice that with polar snap-on you can specify the polar angle of the edge. Enter 1. Press enter. Lesson. Using object snaps. In this lesson, you learn what object snaps are, why they are important, and how to use them effectively in your drawing. You will be able to explain what object snaps are, including the difference between running object snaps and object snap overrides. You will also be able to use object snaps to select snap points in the drawing. You will use object snaps for all drawing and most editing operations. Using object snaps is the best way to ensure the accuracy of all of your objects. In the following illustration, the image on the left shows a door placement that used an object snap to place the door. The image on the right shows what the door placement looks like if you do not use an object snap. Objectives. After completing this lesson, you will be able to Explain what object snaps are and why they are used. State the difference between running object snaps and object snap overrides and identify the different object snap modes. Use running object snaps and object snap overrides to select snap points in the drawing. About object snap: every object you create has various selectable points that you can use to position other objects. Every time you create an object, you are required to specify a point or location. It is critical that these points be defined accurately if you expect your drawing to be accurate. Object snaps define. The following image shows three of the most basic types of objects that you can create: a line, a circle, and an arc. In this example, the line has two unique snap types with three possible locations that you can select. The circle has two unique snap types with 5 possible locations that you can select. The arc has 3 unique snap types with 4 possible locations that you can select. 1 endpoint 2. Midpoint 3. Center point 4. Quadrant object snaps exist for each of the previously mentioned points and more. You use them to select those points accurately. Attempting to accurately select these points without using object snaps would be very time-consuming and inaccurate. Effect of using object snaps: in the following image, the smaller circle needs to be concentric within the larger circle. By using the center object snap, you can place the smaller circle precisely in the center of the larger circle. By examining each circle's coordinates, you can verify that they both share the same center point. Effect of not using object snaps: in the following image, the user attempted to create the vertical line at the endpoint of the horizontal line without using object snaps. Under normal viewing circumstances, the lines appear to be connected correctly. However, after zooming into the geometry, you can see that the lines are not connected at the endpoints. Object snap key points: using object snaps to place objects in relation to other objects in the drawing is critical for accuracy. Every object you can create contains at least one point that is selectable with an object snap. Object snaps: you can access object snaps using several different methods. Running object snaps are generally set and then turned on or off, while object snap overrides represent a one-time use of the selected object snap. Running object snaps refer to object snaps that are set and available when the OSNAP setting is on. Object snap overrides refer to an object snap that you select manually via the toolbar, shortcut menu, or command line. The object snap remains in effect until you specify the next point. Running object snap: if you need to use the same object snap repeatedly, you can set it as a running object snap, which means it stays on until you turn it off. For example, you might set the object snap to center if you need to connect the centers of a series of circles with a line. This feature increases speed and accuracy. Another feature of running object snap is that multiple object snaps can be on at the same time. Running object snap: command line, OSNAP menu bar, tools, drafting settings, object snap tab, keyboard shortcut, F3 toolbar, object snap status bar, object snap settings. The quickest way to turn running object snap on or off is from the status bar button. 1. If you right-click on this button, you can select settings. 2. To change the object snap options in the drafting settings dialog box, shown below. You can also select the snap modes from the shortcut menu. A selected object snap mode will be highlighted. 3. Notice that information in the Object Snap tab of the Drafting Settings dialog box is similar to the shortcut menu shown above. Next to each available object snap is an icon referred to as the Auto Snap marker. If Auto Snap is turned on, the marker appears whenever you move the cursor over a snap point. Press the Tab key to cycle through the available snap points. Never turn all the object snap modes on at once. It is better to have several object snaps chosen, such as endpoint, midpoint, and intersection, and go back to add others as needed or use the object snap override. When are object snaps available? You can specify an object snap whenever the software prompts for a point. Object snap override. Object snap override means that the snap stays in effect until you specify the next point. You are in snap override mode if you click an object snap from the shortcut menu or the object snap toolbar before selecting the specified point. Object snap toolbar command line: while being prompted to select a point, enter the first 3 letters of the object snap and press enter, i.e. mid, int, NIA, Menu Browser, Tools Toolbars Academic Object Snap Toolbar, Object Snap, Access from the menu browser, Shortcut menu, Shift plus right click in the drawing window. Object Snap Modes. Note that an Object Snap override will cancel if you miss your mark. If you select an object snap twice before selecting your point. In the following examples, Point 1 identifies the initial point used to select the object. Point 2 identifies the point snap to or again the second pick point if it is required. Point 3 identifies the point snap to if 2 pick points were required. Endpoint snaps to the closest endpoint of an arc, elliptical arc, line, multiline, polyline segment, spline, region, or ray, or to the closest corner of a trace, solid, or 3D face. Midpoint snaps to the midpoint of an arc, elliptical arc, line, multiline, polyline segment, region, solid, spline, or sline. Center snaps to the center points of circles, arcs, or ellipses. Snaps to a point object, dimension definition point, or dimension text origin. Quadrant snaps to quadrant points on a circle, arc, or ellipse. Intersection snaps to the intersection of any two of the following: arc, circle, ellipse, elliptical arc, line, multiline, polyline, ray, region, spline, or sline. Extended intersection snaps to the imaginary intersection of two objects that would intersect if the objects were extended along their natural paths. Note, this option is not available as a running object snap. Use the intersection object snap as an override. Causes a temporary extension line to display when you pass the cursor over the endpoint of objects, so you can draw objects to and from points on the extension line. You can also use the extension object snap to find the intersection of two objects that would intersect if the objects were extended along their natural paths. Insertion snaps to the insertion point of an attribute, a block, a shape, or text. Perpendicular snaps to a point perpendicular to an arc, circle, ellipse, elliptical arc, line, multiline, polyline, ray, region, solid, spline, or sline. Tangent snaps to a point on a circle or an arc that forms a line tangent to the object. Snaps to the tangent of an arc, circle, ellipse, elliptical arc, polyline arc segment, or spline. Snaps to the nearest point on an arc, circle, ellipse, elliptical arc, line, multiline, point, polyline, ray, spline, or sline. Apparent intersection snaps to the apparent intersection of two objects, arc, circle, ellipse, elliptical arc, line, multiline, polyline, ray, spline, or sline, that do not intersect in 3D space but may appear to intersect in the current view. Parallel draws a vector parallel to another object whenever you are prompted for the second point of a vector. None temporarily turns off all running object snaps for the next selection. Available only as an override. Use this object snap when running object snaps are turned on and you need to temporarily override all object snaps. If any need, contact me by Gmail md.assad7157@gmail.com.